It's very relaxed. Never look at the camera, just always look at me. And can you state and spell your name and title and how you'd like it to appear in the piece?
Chuck Feldman, Chuckfeldman. I'm President and CEO of Dynamic Mobile Data.
Okay, great. Tell me, what does DMD do?
Well, we take corporate information systems, wireless communications, and
I'm sorry, I'm hearing a lot of loud. All right, Chuck, so what does DMD do?
Dynamic Mobile Data takes corporate information systems, wireless communications, and advanced dispatching technology to present to companies so they can manage their mobile resources. Mobile resources being defined as anywhere from trucks, vehicles, people out on jobs, or people who are doing field service activities.
And tell me, what's the difference between what you're doing and the way that most companies managed this information before?
Well, our technology allows companies anywhere from large corporations to small companies to use the technology. Before Dynamic Mobile Data was around, the technology was really only available for large corporations. We've brought the cost down so that companies who have internet access now can log onto the internet, come to our applications on the net, and start using the applications on the same day that they've decided to use our technology.
And this is more cost effective for?
Yeah, we have a very cost-effective solution. When you want to deploy wireless applications, there's really three parts that you need. You need a wireless network service, you need a device, and you need an application. What DMD does is we bring all our technology together in one. The definition of a wireless application service provider allows us to add devices, networks, and applications as they become available. So people are using Palm devices, Nextel devices, RIM devices, now can use their favorite device, their favorite network, using our applications that we host.
Okay, so specifically, DMD creates software that can be hosted on any wireless device?
That's correct. We are what we call device and network agnostic. The value that we bring to our companies is that they no longer have to invest in all the back-end infrastructure. Large companies who have large IT organizations and large management of their IT organizations can easily deploy wireless applications. But small companies, anywhere from 25 to 150 field service people, would have to invest large capital expenditures in the back-end software. So by just going with Dynamic Mobile Data, you can pay on a monthly subscription fee. We house all the back-end infrastructure, and all you need to do is just have a single wireless device.
Tell me about the capabilities of this technology.
Our technology is really focused on dispatching and route optimization. What happens is companies need to use technology to be more efficient in managing their mobile resources and also to be able to compete out in the marketplace. So by adopting our technology, for companies who give for service calls 4-hour windows, anywhere from 12 to 4 or 8 to 12, with our technology, they can reduce that time by almost 30-minute windows. Because our technology is allowing companies to know where their field service technicians are, where their trucks are located. So when calls come in for them to need a service, therefore an appliance needing to be fixed or a pickup and delivery, they can pick the person closest to that location and then dispatch them to that location.
What kind of an impact do you think this technology will have on business?
I think it's going to have a very big impact because as you start using just dispatching technology, there are other technologies that come in. For example, companies who want to have turnaround on their AR using our technology, they know when a field service person completed the job. At the time the person completes the job, it will report back to the AR system. The AR system can produce a bill, and the bill can be sent the same day. So what you're talking about is efficiencies on the cash flow coming back to companies. Also, what we can do is that it's not only important to get a person to a location to fix something or pick something up, but making sure that they have the right skill sets when they go in and service that a client. Many times when you go out and you find out that you needed an extra part, so you need to reschedule something. In our technology, before even the technician goes out there, they know where they're going, what they need to fix, and what available inventories they have. So really what you're doing is you're reducing the time it takes to fix something and the turnaround in the completion of those jobs.
Tell me about some of your key partners and the important role they play in this.
Sure. As I said before, there are three really parts to our technology. Wireless networks, companies such as Singular Interactive, Motioned as another one, CDPD, which are the Verizons and the AT&T, are all major players in the network side. The device side, you have anywhere from the Palm devices to the Nextel phones to RIM, which is Research in Motion, and all the way up to all the new interactive telephones that are coming out are all available with our technology. On the application side, we integrate into many applications. Our software focuses on dispatching. Dispatching is dependent on route optimization. Route optimization is dependent on making sure you have the right profiles for people to use. So you'll see that there are many different types of applications that can all be integrated to complete the one thing that businesses want, and that is being able to do more service activities with the same number of field service people, or being more efficient with the number of field service people they have.
Okay. So these areas are really areas of growth, you think?
Yes. When you look at the industry, there are four major growth areas in wireless: mobile office, field sales, field service, and fleet management. Dynamic mobile data focuses on the three service areas. That's field sales, field service, and fleet management. And those areas are growing every day. Fleet management being defined as companies who have trucks that need to do pickup and delivery within a 50-mile radius of their home base. And so with our technology, companies are now able to do more efficient routes and also to pick better delivery times so customers don't have to wait around waiting when the deliveries will show up or the pickups will happen.
So, for example, if your local cable company said, we'll be there between 9 and 12, like we talked about when we initially met. Give me that example of how this software can help.
Sure. What's happening with our technology is that a company has a centralized screen that has a window on all their activities that are happening out in the field. So they know what technicians are on duty, what technicians are doing what jobs, and where those technicians are. We use a global positioning system to track where the trucks are, where the field service engineers, and we also know the status of the job. We know if they started the job, we know if they've completed the job, they know if they're en route to another account. So therefore, when a customer is asking when is the service person showing up, we're providing real-time data so that the dispatchers can feed back to the customers of letting them know they're en route, they're in the middle of a job, you're the next job that's being assigned to it. Which allows now better loyalty on customer satisfaction.
Tell me about you said Lifestar is using your application also? Or?
Yeah, there's a certain couple of verticals that are using our technology. Non-emergency medical transport is one, a company called Logisticare. They do pickup and delivery for the elderly who need to go to doctor's offices, who need to come home from the hospitals, or transporting them in a non-emergency medical arena. We have insurance companies that use it for field adjusters. When you get into an accident, it's called first notice of loss. First notice of loss, they assign a field agent to come out to inspect your car so that they can turn around and get you your money and get your car back up in service as quickly as possible. Before our technology, insurance companies would use almost about 2-week turnaround time. Now we can shorten that to days.
Okay. So let's see. I'm just looking over my notes here to say, how difficult a task is it today to really get a handle on your mobile resources?
Well, that's a good question. A lot of people think that managing mobile resources is about control. At Dynamic Mobile Data, we're really talking about freedom. It's not knowing where the technician is and if the technician is out on the road or at Dunkin' Donuts when they should be on a call. What companies are using our technology is to make sure that the customers are serviced better with the right technician. So a lot of people talk about dispatching or global positioning as controlling their workforces. really what we find out is that the field service personnel embrace this technology because they don't want to show up to an account saying, well, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know that this is the part you needed. I wasn't even sure why you called. Now what we're doing is we're providing the information before they even show up. They can get the right inventory or the right skill sets out to the company, out to the customer, and fix it. The one thing that customers don't want is a callback. And what we're finding out is that people who use our technology are getting a better relationship between their customer and their field service technician. And as we talk about field service, which used to be an expense, is now really starting to be a revenue generation. So if I go and fix one thing in your house or one thing at your company, there might be 3 or 4 other things that I can do at the same time I'm there. Why do I need to wait another couple of days so I can dispatch somebody else out? So bringing more efficiencies into the workforce really allows the mobile resource people to have more freedom, not more controls.
Very well put. Just make sure this isn't going to run out. Okay. Okay, good. So I think we went over, what does a company really need to start this whole thing up?
Before dynamic mobile data, what a company needed to deploy a wireless application is you had to buy very large servers. You needed to have a connection into the wireless networks, which would take anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks. You need to load the application, and then you needed to buy a mobile device. With us, we already have the software loaded, already have the servers in place. We have a network operations center that houses all our interconnections into all the wireless networks. So really all an account needs now is to log on to the internet. From the internet, they can establish what users are able to use our technology, and they can be up and running in the same day. So it does not require a long setup or a costly setup to deploy our technology.
Okay, so you're kind of using the because it's wireless now. I'm getting confused because you're saying internet and wireless. So you access all the info through the internet, and then you feed that into the field with wireless devices.
Yeah, that's a great point. What happens is corporate information systems, which are the systems that gather the information, XYZ companies, copier is broken, we need to dispatch a field service person out. Companies' customer relation management software sends that information to our network operations center over the internet. At the network operations center, we send it wirelessly out to the field service technician. When the field service technician receives the message, it is wirelessly sent back to our network operations center, and we then update the display screens at the company showing them the technician has received the job, has accepted the job, they're en route to the job, they've started the job, and you've made it so that we can deploy these applications in a custom fashion without going through weeks and weeks of customization.
Look at my notes. Oh, okay. So what is So what is your business model?
Our business model is based on a per subscriber per month model. We charge $39.95 per field service person per month, which includes the ability to have our software at the company location and the ability then to send out those messages wirelessly to the field service technician. We allow companies to pick their wireless device and their wireless network, and they tend to either buy the wireless device or wireless service from us, or they have the ability to choose and purchase the wireless device and wireless carrier at their own.
Excuse me.
What we provide customers today is really the ability of flexibility. By adopting our technology, you're not tied into networks and you're not tied into devices. As new devices come out, you can replace your current devices without replacing your software. And that is the biggest part of companies adopting wireless technology. Wireless technology will change. New networks and new devices will always come out, but processes don't change. And that's really what DMD provides companies, is the ability to keep their processes in place and not worry about technology obsolescence in the devices and networks.
Okay, that's a good point. Okay, now just tell me about, the next step in this whole, puzzle is using the data and analyzing the data. Is that true?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Knowing where your field service people are, or knowing where your trucks are, is only one piece of the puzzle. What we're starting to get into is something called dynamic route optimization. Currently today, the way a lot of businesses do their processes is they take all their scheduled events for the next day, they run it through a route optimizer, they give out the routes in the morning, and they ask all their technicians to go out in the field. What you don't account for is the ability of what happens when there's a traffic jam. What happens if the job you're working on is taking longer than it needs to take? So by using our technology and integrating it into route optimization, the new area that really wireless brings is called dynamic route optimization. Dynamic route optimization is changing routes within the day or intraday. So if one technician is on a traffic jam, I know where my other technicians are. I can reroute them to get them to still fix or pick up what they need to do within a timely fashion. And we think that's a growing area. Wireless communications is just beginning to gather real-time data. What we need to do with real-time data is analyze it and do something with it. For example, as I said before, the ability to know that you completed a job in the field, send it to AR, and get a bill out the same day. The ability that when I'm out in a traffic jam to get somebody else to fix or pick up something is really where wireless data needs to go, and that's where dynamic mobile data is positioning itself, is to do something with the wireless data, not only just report the wireless information going on.
Is there anything else that you think is is important to mention about this, that we're leaving out, that we need to touch upon?
Yeah, a lot of people who get into wireless data find that there's a lot of complexity in wireless data. At Dynamic Mobile Data, what we try to do is remove all that complexity. There's no reason you need to know everything about wireless or every device out there, every piece of application. We recognize businesses have business processes, and all they're trying to do with wireless data is actually be more efficient with their business processes, not trying to change their business processes. So from Dynamic Mobile Data's point of view, by using our technology and our network infrastructure, we allow companies to continue on with their business processes and not reinvent their business processes just because they've adopted wireless.
Thank you.
Let me just grab 30 seconds of room tone. Bars. 30 seconds room tone. Ask everybody to be dead silent. End room tone.
Great. Doug, if you could state and spell your name and title and how you'd like to appear in the piece.
Sure. My name is Doug Hawley, Hawley. I'm the Senior Vice President,
Of,
Dynamic Mobile Data.
okay, great. First of all, tell us, what does your company do?
What does our company do? Our company writes software, which is used in mobile data applications. We try to make it as easy as possible for businesses of all sizes to transmit what we call business critical information from their dispatch centers out to their vehicles and people.
And why do you think this wireless sending of data and reading of data is becoming so popular now?
For a variety of reasons, Pat. First of all, the cost has become a lot more reasonable. The networks that the data runs on are a lot more effective today than they were, say, 10 years ago. And also, we're able to provide services for our customers through our NOC that allows them to implement something very quickly and easily, whereas in the past it would have taken them a lot of money and a lot of time to implement.
So tell me about the software. Is it configurable, or how does it work?
Well, you know how an Excel spreadsheet works? Basically you have numbers, labels, and formulas. That's how configurable our software is. We can put different views up on the screen, and customers can configure it any way they want to match their business.
Why do you think this would be important for businesses to use this type of technology as opposed to others?
Well, business is a lot more competitive than it was before, and people are always looking for ways to operate more effectively, more efficiently, save time and money, make one more call during the day. Technology as it exists without mobile data is primarily voice oriented. So using cellular telephones or two-way radio equipment to dispatch vehicles, although it has been effective in the past, in order to get critical information quickly and verify that the information was received, makes a business a lot more competitive.
And what can the software actually do?
The software can actually send critical information, customer information, job site information, equipment information, right into the hands of a technician who needs that information now, without radioing back and forth or calling back and forth to get that information. In addition to that, we have an AVL component, which is automatic vehicle location, which allows you to locate that individual or that vehicle in an instant. That allows you to dispatch your people more effectively. You can match the right technician to the right job and route more effectively.
And do you think this is a cost savings for companies to use?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a cost savings, and it's also a revenue generator. If you've got a service company that is normally making 8 calls a day, if they can make 1 more call a day, that's a significant impact on their bottom line.
Okay, good. Let me just look through my notes here. Let's see. Tell me what a wireless application service provider is.
The key to a wireless application service provider is the S, and that's in service. A lot of people look at any application service provider as maybe a cost-effective way to manage their network operations, but really what it is it takes the place of all the manpower that it takes to maintain it. So you're getting not just all the equipment and buying or renting space on someone's server, but you're also getting the service associated with that. So 24-hour operation, redundant fiber, all types of backup that a customer normally would have to supply themselves. They don't have to do that anymore. So they are actually getting an entire staff to operate their equipment as well.
Okay, so what about the security issues?
The security issues are always of a concern, no matter what type of information you transmit, whether that be through telephone lines or through two-way radio or through a cellular telephone. We encrypt the information 3 times, and then after that it gets encrypted by the carriers as well. So by the time that anyone picks up that information, it's pretty much nondescript.
So if you can just give me a history of, how new this technology is, and how technology has changed, and how really everyone's focusing on wireless now.
Well, the technology itself is not new. People have been sending mobile data information for many, many years. What's new has been caused by the proliferation of the internet. And it's not that people all have access to the internet now that they didn't have before. It's the necessary changes in protocols that have allowed other data systems to use IP-based protocols, and therefore everything becomes a lot more uniform in the way people communicate. So the difference is that now there's a lot more standardization, so that costs have come down significantly, and there's a lot more interoperability.
So is this something that's just for big companies to use?
No, not at all. And that's one of the key to our businesses is we have customers that have 3 units. We have customers that have 20,000 units. It's, I hate to use the word scalable because it's really used a lot these days, but our software truly is scalable. When you can have a service company with 17 technicians operating a lot more effectively, they can now compete effectively with companies that have virtually the same software that's deployed over thousands of employees.
And what do you think the next step for, the next step is analyzing data?
Analyzing data? The next step for a customer would be to take the data and analyze it to improve their business. Vehicle location, for example, is a good example of that. When you take vehicle information and you feed it back, the customer says, now I know where my vehicle is. But after a while, he knows where his vehicles are. Now the question is, what can I do with that information? I can tie it into our customer locations. I can dispatch the right location to the right technician. And you can match and effectively route your vehicles a lot more effectively. So really, after the information is gathered, then you can do a lot with the information by running different reports, measuring productivity, and making sure that you're operating the most effective way possible.
Okay, great. Is this easy to set up, do you think?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to
Oh,
change
we'll
tape.
change that.